Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
Yeah,
let's go.
Hey, let the beat ride for a minute, yo. I'm feeling it right now.
You should have told me I already had the fade on there.
Oh, man. You got to be in sync with me, partner. What's up?
Oh, what's going on, everybody? L.A. Williams, Sean V. Bradley here on this
Millionaire
holiday
Car
episode.
Salesman in the building, people. What's up? What it is? How you doing?
Super duper excited, man. December 22nd. What's the formula?
Super duper. That's not what I would recognize coming from a black blind Jew. That sounds like really like, Southern right there. Like, yoki dokie, howdy doody. Yo, we're going to get stoned to death from our Southern dealers. Yeah, I'm only playing with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York. He's from Philly.
That was my
We're
Barney.
just in the
That
north.
was my Barney impression. You know what I'm saying?
What's
I'm
up?
the orange dinosaur.
The dinosaur. There, you know what I'm saying? I'm the orange tie guy. What's up?
Let's go.
All right, people. We got a special edition. Today is December 22nd. It's Tuesday. You know what I mean? The day after today is my daughter's birthday. Shout out to Kalina Sarah Bradley. She just turned 20 years old. Well, she will turn 20 years old tomorrow, right? But again, I'm psyched, LA. Ask me why I'm psyched.
Why are you psyched?
Because we can finally put this crazy ass year behind us. And I forgot again, I'm not on the radio. I can say shit, fuck, whatever. See, being on broadcast radio, I got to watch my mouth. But you know what I mean? I just keep it flowing up in here from my car.
Yo, he gonna say dictator. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with this?
Yo, you think I could pass that on the FCC airwaves?
I'm gonna have to find the word I'm gonna get across, but that one I'm gonna have to, because you just said it. You just were like, the first half of that word, so I'm gonna have to probably beat that first one out. I mean, the second one. It was 3
All right,
in there.
so anyway, folks, listen to me. This year's been crazy between the COVID-19 coronavirus, the pandemic, this crazy-ass election, all this stuff. I'm just ready to put 2020 behind me. And for the record, man, we had record year. We shattered records. And to the point, LA, we can make the announcement today. Dealer Synergy's accountability program monthly support is sold out.
Crazy.
I think that's only the second time in 17 years that we've maxed capacity. The books are filled. So just so you guys understand, if you just do the math, there's like 16,500 franchise dealerships out there, and we have about 1,400 active clients, but those are not all on laborious things. Most of those are from Bradley On Demand and our partnership with Cardone On Demand for our content, and obviously with Dealer Synergy's CRM services. But when we really build these departments and we work on contract with the dealers on a daily, weekly, monthly level accountability, that stuff is, honestly, folks, that's very labor intensive. So we can't work with more than like 75 to 100 rooftops at a time. That's it. Now, 100 out of freaking 16,500 franchise dealerships is really not a lot. So right now, there's a waiting list. You have to go to dealersynergy.com/sold-out and get on a waiting list if you want us to build your departments from scratch or rehab your departments, turn them around. But LA, isn't that a blessing? Isn't that crazy that even in this crazy pandemic, we've had the fortune to, just be blessed with amazing dealer groups. I'm talking like $2.5 billion dealer groups. I'm talking about the #1, stores in the country for their franchises. All of that it's just a blessing.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I mean, and then the people that we get to work with are absolutely amazing. And then I ain't even gonna lie, the dinners that they take me to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So,
Sean, did you see the video? This guy sent you the video of what we ate.
No, I didn't even see it, but I went out to dinner with Scott before
he
you
had
got
me
there,
eating
man.
some
and we
mountain
threw it out.
oysters, and I'm Hebrew, so they're not. It's not shellfish. That's all I'll say.
Okay. That's crazy, man. So my point being is that with that being said, we need to look towards 2021, okay? So hopefully you are like an Ali Retta or a Cody Carter or, a Corey Ott, a Kalina Bradley, any of these professionals out there that are doing really good and they're crushing it. Now, obviously, Ali's a different level than Kalina. Kalina only started selling cars about a week ago, you know what I'm saying? But the point is that she's in it.
That's
so
funny.
what is the plan for January 1st. I mean, Christmas is in a couple days. We're in Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa's in a couple days, and then New Year's, and then it's all new. So, are you going to do something different in 2021? Are you going to make the excuse of 2020 pandemic why you're going to start, mediocre in 2021, or are you going to have a plan? LA, what do you think?
They better have a plan, because here's the thing. I think, and now I never give excuses or even allow excuses, but at least, March, April of 2020, there was like a, oh my gosh type of factor. You can't say that anymore. Like, you got to be over the shock. It is what it is, right? This is the world that we're living in. So now it's up to you to go and win with your circumstances. It's like me, like, oh my gosh, I'm blind. Dude, you've been blind 35 plus years. Like,
right.
You can't be shocked over it anymore. Let's go. Let's make some money. So, absolutely.
All right, good. So at Dealer Synergy, whether it's internal to our team or it's to, all of our clients, or it's even to the Bradley household, to my children, we believe in manifestation. We believe in the laws of attraction. We believe in, beginning with the end result in mind. And so what my advice is, what I would tell my children, I would tell my daughters who are in the business. Tiana works at Dealer Synergy. Kalina works at RK Auto Group in Violin, New Jersey, selling cars. So regardless of who I'm saying this advice to, begin with the end result in mind. My advice is to think about what you want to achieve in 2021. Now, let's leave the money side and the professional side for a couple minutes, because I'm going to spend the rest of the show, reverse engineering going into it. But I want you to think about the relationships. So going into 2021, what is it that you want your different roles that you play in your life to look like? So for me, I'm a husband. So I want to look at, in 2021, how can I do better and be an even more amazing husband? I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to, because I am almost close to perfection. Just kidding. You know what I mean?
Funny.
But my point is that I want to think about those things. What can I do to increase the awesomeness of the relationship with my wife? Even though we've been together for almost 14 years, I want her to want to stay for another 14 and more and forever.
Exactly.
So to do that, I just want to be cognizant of that. Same thing, LA roles. If I'm a parent, I have 4 children. What can I do to be an even better father this year? Yeah. Okay. What can I do to be a better pet owner? I got 2 little pugs at the house. What can I do to be a better friend? What can I do to be a better mentor? What can I do to be a better leader? And so I think that you want to start there, because again, the show is not mostly about that, but I want to say before I do dive into the professional side of things, is that you can't go to the gym and only work out your arms and be cock diesel with your arms and have chicken legs, have Gumby ass legs that somebody blows you and you fall over. You have to turn around and have a holistic approach, because if I teach you just about projections, forecasting, reverse engineering, how to sell 30, 40 cars or more, but you're tired, you're exhausted, or you're drinking too much, or you have too much caffeine, or you're not, sleeping well enough, or you're missing date night with your daughter, or missing, husband and wife time, or whatever it is, then you're emotionally going to be drained. You're going to be physically unstable. Right. So, Ellie, do you agree with where I'm going with this?
100%, man. Here's the thing. I just got a call from my son's mother talking about, he was falling asleep at his computer in class. And, again, that's already automatically a challenge. But we were just in the mall. He's talking about, him wanting some $200 sneakers. Now, $200 sneakers is not necessarily a big deal, but you do have to earn it. And so I feel like you can't do the two together. You can't get $200 sneakers and be falling asleep in class on your computer. So we're going to have to make some adjustments to his phone schedule. Definitely working on that. So as a parent, I feel like that's my responsibility, something I got to do. Same deal with the husband thing. Like my wife's, one of her love languages, shout out to, Gary Chapman, man, the 5 love languages. One of her love language is gift giving, right? She loves to give gifts. And why does she love to give them? Because she likes to receive them too, right? It's, and so I want to be a better gift giver as from a husband's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, so it's little stuff like that I want to be able to do, which, it's crazy because my cousin, shout out to my cousin Stevie, he helped to create part of my logo, but he used to be my gift giver. Like he and I, we always get together back when she and I was dating, and, he would help me come up with all kind of concepts and stuff like that. He passed away about a year and a half or so ago. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, oh, now I got to find a new gift partner. You know what I'm saying? It's so little
Yeah.
stuff like that, man. Just wanting to constantly be a better human being. I think that's so important.
But
Self-development
do
in
you
every
but do you
area.
agree with what I'm saying that that all that stuff you said is great, but my correlation also is to the specific detail
Hmm.
that all that stuff is important, but follow me, it's even more important if you're trying to be the best you could be at work. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to correlate is that you can't turn around and just focus on objections, rebuttals, projecting, forecasting, phone skills, CRM skills, but not work on you skills. You
Listen,
know what I'm saying? You skills with your life, your love, your passions, your dreams. You need to work on all that stuff too, or else no matter how much you sharpen the saw in objections, rebuttals, and processes,
yeah.
you'll never be the maximum potential.
I
Is what I'm
love I
trying to get
live
at.
by this. I live by this. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So
Ooh.
you a fraud if you want to be, great at work and then you're, subpar in the I was gonna say in the bedroom, but you know what I'm saying?
Whoa, wait a minute here. It's not that kind of show, LA.
But you know what I'm saying? You can't just be halfway, good in some key areas. You got to have a smoothness to you, right? That's the one thing that, people like about certain people is they're consistent. Consistency is key.
Mm.
So I think you got to be consistent across the board, right? Be as good of a father as you are and listen, nobody's saying I'm not asking for perfection. I'm just asking for development, right? Constant improvement, that Kaizen mentality. So absolutely.
Yes, the art of continuous improvement
Hmm.
for sure. All right, so again, people, I'm just telling you, this is advice that I give my family who's in the industry, and I've been doing this for almost 22 years. It's crazy to me. I got into this last century in 1999. And so let's get into this. So for 2021, how many cars do you want to sell for the year? So again, do some math. If you're going to sell 30 cars a month, all right, times 12 months, that's 360 cars that you want to be able to sell for the year, right? Now, here's my little advice is I would start right there and say to myself, okay, wait a minute. If I really want to sell a minimum average of 30 cars a month, that means I need to sell 360 cars for the year. If I reverse engineer to that number of 360, I might or might not hit it. So what my first tip is over amplify your projected target. So
Hmm.
again, over amplify your projected target. So if I really want 360, I might say 400. Well,
Yep.
for two reasons, honestly. One is because I want to over amplify, but then also 400 is a smoother number that I could reverse engineer back to. Okay, it just smoothly goes into things. Okay, so now again at 40, if I turn on and take 400, right? Divide that by the 12 months. Okay, so that's 33.3 cars per month. So that's what the number is. I need to sell 33 cars per month. Now the question is, how are you going to do that?
That's a great question. They need to know how are
So
they
I'm,
going to do
I'm
it?
not asking them why. I would assume that you already know why you need to get to this number.
Hmm.
I'm just giving you a number right there. To net 30 cars a month, I say over amplify or over project to 400 cars for the year, right? So now divide that by the 12 months, that's 33.3 cars. So my little trainer disclaimer is this. You need to know the why, because if the why isn't important or the why isn't important enough, you're never going to do this either.
Mm-mm.
So the why needs to be tied to the what. Okay, so
Yeah.
now let's
So
move
let me
forward.
say this real quick, Sean, because here's
Yeah.
the deal. If the why, what's going to end up happening is as we give you these numbers that are going to grow and things like that, if you start to feel like, oh, it's not even worth it, your why isn't big enough.
Yes. Amen. So he's absolutely right. That's what I'm saying here. If it's not worth it to dig deep and to do the things that you have to do, remember, folks, if you want the things that the average person doesn't have, you've got to be willing to do the things that the average person isn't willing to
Willing to
do,
do.
legally, ethically, and morally speaking.
Hmm.
So again, the why has to match the what. So let's get into that. So now at 33 cars, okay, I'm going to just round up again just a little bit. Let's just call it, 34 cars, right? So if I'm at 34 cars just in a month, how am I going to do that? The first thing that I need to do is go into it. For January, LA, how many days are in January?
31.
Good, he's paying attention, folks. He gets his dollar. All right, so LA, there's 31 days, but if you work on the showroom floor, you're really not going to do all that, right? So I'm looking at the calendar right now, and for January, there should be 22 or 21. There's a 21 employee working days,
Hmm.
but with, the New Year's Day, there might only be 20 to 20. It depends if you're working New Year's Day or not, but most
New Year's
dealers
Day,
don't
Martin
work
Luther
that.
King's Day, all
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just say you have 20 employee working days. So now this is a little bit crazy, right? Because if you've got only 20 employee working days, but you're trying to sell 34 cars divided by 20,
14
you
of
have to
those days you
sell,
got to do 2 a day.
yeah, it's 1.7. So again, I'm going to average that up again. So you see where I'm going with this? You've got to figure out how you're going to sell on average almost 2 cars per day, 1.66, something like that. You know what I mean? So how are you going to do that? So that's where you start. It's like you have to have a realistic expectation. Like, holy crap, can I see myself really delivering 3 or 4 cars in one day? Again, I'm not saying all fresh ups, but I'm saying appointments, BBack schedules, deliveries, etc. Because some days you might not sell the 1.7 cars. So you might have one day you only sell 1 car. So the next day you're going to sell 3 cars. Again, this has to be realistic. If you don't have the energy and the time and the commitment that it's going to take to sell 30, cars a month, or in this case, 34 cars a month, it's not going to be easy. Nothing in life that's worth anything, in my point, is easy. Why don't people lift weights? Even though you could get
freaking
buff and
heavy.
get cock diesel, and you could, have all your significant others going, ooh, ow, yum, all that stuff. I said yum, right? It's simple. Why don't people lift weights? Because they're freaking heavy. Why don't people sell 30 cars a month on average? Why do people only sell 9.6? Because it's easier to be complacent with mediocrity.
Yeah.
So this is my next tip, is that before you even start going, okay, how am I going to do this? Then you need to be able to say, is this goal like realistic for me? Do I have it in my heart and my desire to be committing to this type of goal? And now, LA, let's just assume they are. Let's say that they got this part in the podcast episode and they're like, okay, Sean, shut up already. Just tell me how to do this. You have me. Hello. I'm ready.
Well, before
Okay?
I do that, I want to give a powerful statement, because I was thinking about this, and I actually got a video that I shot about this, and Sean said that he doesn't expect it to come from ups, right? I really don't expect any of it to come from ups. Here's the situation, right? If you're dependent on someone else or something else, then they're your daddy, right? So you're basically a childish salesperson, right? If you're depending on someone else to feed you, you better figure out how to feed yourself. Grow up, be a grown ass man or grown ass woman, right? And figure it out for yourself, right? Don't be dependent on any one, source for your traffic, for your anything. Make sure that you got multiple streams of prospects. That's what I got to say. So.
Word, what he said. Ditto. Okay. Listen, pretty much that's what I say. He just regurgitated what I say, but it sounds good coming out of your mouth, LA. I'll run with it. So, folks, listen to this though. There's 8 ways that a showroom salesperson can sell an automobile. There's 8 ways. And 6 of them have to come from mommy or daddy in LA's analogy. It's got to come from the umbilical cord. Okay, so, but I'm going to give you the total 8. Walk-in ups, fresh ups, BBacks, internet ups, phone ups, prior customers / orphan owners, service conversions. Okay, those first 6 are all from the dealership's opportunities, the dealership's OEM, the dealership's marketing, advertising, the dealership's location, the dealership. Now, the 2 that are solely up to you are referrals. You ready? And prospecting, the lost art of prospecting. So let me repeat this again. You've got walk-ins, BBack, internet ups, phone ups, prior customers / orphan owners, service conversions, referrals, and the lost art of prospecting. So I want to repeat the stat because this blows me away, is that on average, the average salesperson, as of NADA, the National Automobile Dealer Association, LA, says that the average salesperson out of the 16,500 franchise dealerships, out of the 165,000 franchised salespeople, I'm not even talking about independent or buy your pay here's, do you realize that they sell less than 10 cars a month?
Wow.
They sell 9.6 cars a month. You know why? Because the vast majority, to your counterpoint, is that they wait for the umbilical cord. They wait for the magic up bust. They wait for the internet traffic. They call this cheese. Like Obama phones and government government cheese. This is what you can get if you stand in line for government bread or government cheese. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm just telling you, no, don't get me wrong. You could be not starving and you could be full off of government cheese. Okay, but you're dependent on the government. And sometimes the cheese is a little old, a little moldy, and sometimes it's hard as a rock. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you look at the top people in the world, like an Ali Reda, okay, like a Cody Carter and Frank Krenitz, right, or whatever his last name is, right? All of those people sell over 100 cars a month on the showroom floor. Some even 105, 130, and with Ali and his protege over there, Carlos Cueta, 198 cars between two people. It's insane to me.
Yeah. So is it still prospecting, or what is it called if it's their own website or if they're like Facebook?
It's prospecting.
Marketing? Okay, cool. That's under
So
prospecting.
let's define these things, because I think that's the important part too, is define them. Walk-ins is defined to me as anything that comes from the dealership's front door or the lot. If there's a prospect that comes into the dealership or the lot, but they were not an appointment or a prior customer or an accident. You know what I mean? They were an up. It's usually from marketing, advertising, or because they're the local franchise or the local dealership, etc. So that's, to me, a walk-in. A BBack is somebody that came in, and again, not from an appointment, not from a BBack. This one, it's a fresh up that comes in that doesn't buy a car, leaves, and they're classified as an unsold showroom up, right? And you get them to come back into the dealership, and then you sell them the second time they come in or one of the many times after they come in. So that is what a BBack is. A service conversion is someone that's you're working from the service drive. Either it's an actual quick referral from your service writer, a tech, or it's because the salesperson proactively or was told by their manager to go work in the service drive and go greet the customers that are in there and start a conversation, yada, yada, yada. That's old school. So if you do that, if you just up people in the service drive while they're waiting for their service appointments, that's one way. Another way to work the service drive is through data mining and equity mining with tools like VinQ or Auto Alert or Automotive Masterminds or Revenue Radar. These type of data mining, equity mining tools where you're mining, you could mine people that are in service. So again, that's what service conversions are. Now, in addition to that, prior customers are simply people that you either sold a car to that they financed, sold a car to that they paid cash, or you leased someone a car. So this is somebody that personally did business with you before in some capacity in a sale, cash deal, finance, or lease. Now, an orphan owner is somebody that did business with somebody that was at the dealership that is no longer at the dealership. So usually it's somebody, let's say if Sean Bradley worked at ABC Motors and Sean Bradley left the dealership, my entire client base needs to be inherited to somebody. Let's say L.A. Williams is now the orphan owner of all of my own prospects.
Let me have them joints.
Absolutely, bro, for real. Okay, and then we have internet ups. These are internet purchase requests that come from the website or third-party providers, online classifieds. Phone ups are people that are calling the dealership on the phone, and you're just picking up the phone and you're taking phone ups, so the BDC gives you phone ups. Now we get into referrals. Referrals are not just people that you sold a car to. Like, hey, if you know anybody that needs to buy a car, let them know that I sell cars and I'll give you a referral. Okay, so that is, and because I want to be clear. Remember when I said that the two things that come directly from you, not from the dealership. And so again, follow my logic on this. This is why it's not just those people, because then in that case, if the only people that you generate referrals from are people that you sold a car to, then that still would be coming from the dealership. Do you see the distinction? So in my mind, a referral, that's primitive and that's basic. And yes, grab them because it's the easy low-hanging fruit. But what I think of referrals are referral agents or referral agencies. For example, going to people that are like waiters and waitresses or tattoo artists, or they work in a bank, or they work in a gym and they have access to a lot of people, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, insurance agents, all these people, right? And if I tell them, hey, listen, I sell cars, I also buy cars. If you know somebody that needs to buy or sell a car, here's my information. And if I sell them a car or buy their car, I will pay you money, for an example, right? I know some states you can't do this, but here's the example. So to me, that's generating a referral agent or referral agencies. Theoretically, I want people to come to me on a daily, weekly basis for referrals, not like once every 4 or 5 months. Do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah, absolutely. And even with
And then
those states,
prospecting, wait
there's
a minute, and prospecting to your point is any way that you generate a prospect directly yourself. See, the referral you're generating, but not you directly. You're getting somebody to recommend or refer you. Where a prospect is that if you were just meeting somebody and saying, hey, are you in the market for a vehicle? If you just strike up a conversation with everybody, everywhere you go, without exception, without fail, you ask them 3 questions. Hey, are you in the market for a vehicle? No. Who do you know that is in the market for a vehicle? Why? Because if you refer them to me and I sell them, I will pay you money. I don't know anybody. Okay, then what kind of car are you driving? Why? Because if I could get you more for your car than it's worth, would you consider selling me their vehicle? So that's prospecting, having your own website, doing Instagram ads, Facebook ads. If you put up a billboard, whatever it is, if you drive traffic to your website and people come in, that's prospecting LA. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big help because I know that that question has been out there. So that was awesome.
Yeah, for example, the great examples I would say is Tiana Mick. Tiana was extremely successful and nationally recognized because she had a website, a build a brand platform called tgotyourkeys.com. And she used to have a $400 a month advertising budget. And this is big famous. It was in our Millionaire Car Salesman group. She actually got somebody to drive an hour and 20 minutes to buy a used car, right, with a $3,500 gross front end from a $6 Facebook ad for the LGBT community. I mean, it's absolutely insane the amount of success that she had from her Instagram ads, her Facebook ads. She even went viral LA with her TikTok video. She got 2.4 million organic views on her T Got Your Keys, TikTok. And let's go to somebody else. Let's look at, my nephew, Dylan, D Rob Got Your Key Fob. He's got his own platform as well from Build a Brand. He's got, his own website, D Rob Got Your Key Fob. And what's really crazy is remember his very first car sale, he was still in training. He didn't even make it to the floor. On break, he went and he did a Snapchat video on a used vehicle, a used pickup truck, and made an $11,000 gross deal off of a freaking Snapchat video. And then we've got Kalina Sarah Bradley, who just started her KGotYouCovered.com build a brand website, and she's already driving traffic, and she hasn't even started selling cars yet, but the website's there, and it's things are happening. Make sense, LA?
That's beautiful. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Dylan. He actually texted me about our Envision that Tiana sold us. So I'm like, oh, good job, man. You thinking. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what's up. So again, I want to recap to everybody here is that if you want to sell more than just 3 or 4 cars or 9 or 10 cars or even 15, 20 cars, if you want to sell 30 or more cars, you need to diversify or you're going to kill yourself swimming upstream. The other thing, LA, is let's talk about statistical analysis, cost benefit analysis of time. Here's some stats. An internet purchase request within the first 30 days from the manufacturer only closes at 6%. A third-party provider or online classified closes around 8%. A lead from your website or search engine, depending what kind of website, could be anywhere from 12% to 16 or 17%. Still, nothing more than 16%. You know what I mean? You're not selling 20% of leads off for your website. That just doesn't happen. So now you take those primitive areas and then even fresh ups, not an appointment or BBack, just a fresh up from, just geolocation or conventional advertising marketing is still only 18 to 25% closing ratio. These are small amounts, but this is what everybody spends their time on. For the love of freaking God, you're doing everything that everybody else is doing, and it's the least effective stuff. On the flip side, let me tell you some data. NADA says that a service customer is 7 times as likely to purchase a vehicle where they service their car from. So working the damn service drive, the data mining, the equity mining makes the most sense to me, statistically speaking. Then let's go into a BBack, right? A BBack and a referral, they're both a 50% closing ratio. So again, a lot of salespeople don't work all their BBacks. And if they do work their BBacks, they'll maybe work them 3 days or a week or so. They say they buy or die, but that's BS. Most of them don't do it. After a couple days or a week, they drop the ball, the desk drops the ball, and they don't do it. Work your BBacks to freaking 50% closing ratio if you get them back into the dealership. A referral that shows up to the appointment is a 50% closing ratio. And then my favorite one, prior customers and orphan owners close in excess of 65% closing ratio.
Yep.
Let me tell you right now, that's the freaking lottery, is prior customers, and not even your prior customers. You know what trips me out, LA? People run like they scatter like roaches when it comes to orphan owners. They're like,
They're the
that's just
best.
crap. They already bought a car. Yo, my dude, what are you, crazy? A prior customer of the dealership. It doesn't matter if it's your, if the person bought the car at the dealership, it's a 65% closing ratio. And a service customer is 7 times as likely. That means it's a 70 to 80% closing ratio. So if the person bought their car from your dealership, maybe from a salesperson that's no longer there, and they serviced their damn car, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? For the love of God, what are you doing? You're missing the boat. And then on top of that, LA, you ready? They think that it's not even that it's not good. They think it's a waste of time. Their paradigms are so screwed up, right?
See, do
So
get.
again, yeah, you get where I'm getting at,
Yeah.
my brother. Is I'm saying is you got to diversify where you're getting, you know, your car sales from. Walk-ins, BBack, internet, phone, prior customers, orphan owners, service conversions, referrals, and then the lost art of prospecting. So let's go through this. Let's go from the top. Walk-ins, right? So the way that you got to look at this is if I reverse engineer. So if I'm working, just again, 20 employee working days, right? So if I'm working 20 employee working days, how many ups a day do I get? If 1 up a day, that's 20 ups. If it's 2 ups a day, it's 40 ups. So let's just do on a bare minimum here. If I get 20 ups in a month, in an entire month, and then I've got to figure out, okay, so 20 ups in a month, divide that by 4, weeks in a month means that I've got what? 5 ups a week divided by 5 working days. I need to take 1 up a day to get to my 20. Now, here's the point. If I get 20 ups, what's my closing percentage on the first time that they walk in? Is that going to be a 25% closing ratio? Because if that's a 25% closing ratio, then what's that number, LA? Quick, 5.
Five,
That
yeah.
means I could count on 5 deals coming directly from fresh ups. Now, what about BBacks? BBacks in that month, let's do this right here. If I got 20 ups, but I sold 5, that means that there's 15 left over. Now, I'm going to say this right now. If there's 15 left over, if I turn around and just dead 5 people, right? Maybe even 6 people that are just, they're unbuyable, they're no way, they're so far apart, etc. That's going to leave me what, like 9 to 10, people that I theoretically could turn around and get back in.
Right. Plus you
Okay,
had
now
15 from last month.
out of those 10 people, for example, I might only get 5 people to come back in. Now, out of those 5 people I get back in, I might be able to sell 2 or 3 cars. So follow me. Just in the same month, I should be able to pick up a couple extra BBack deals, but that's just this month. So if I'm talking about January 1st, what about the leads that today, for example, today is December 22nd. Even if we close the month in December, 31st, it's over or what have you, right? What's going to happen? Just because I go into January, the December leads are only a week or 2 old or dead? No, absolutely
No.
not. So follow me. This is what people make a big mistake. In the month of January, not only are you trying to get BBacks from that month to come back in, but also from the people, I swear to you, for at least the previous 30 to 60 days. So from the entire month of December, the entire month of November, anybody that came into the dealership, hell, October, November, December, anybody that came in for the last 90 days is what I would do. You know what I mean? If you want to cut corners, maybe just 60 days. But don't do less than I'd say 60 days, in my
Yeah.
opinion, if you want to be effective. So man, just try to imagine that. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get 5 spots. I'm going to get, let's just say, just to be conservative, 2 from just this month to come back in for BBacks. But what if I get another 3 BBacks from the previous months I got back in? So I'm really looking for 5 BBacks this month. Okay, hell, I'm up to 10 cars. I'm 1/3 of the way there. Okay, now let's go into, I'm going to jump from walk-in and BBacks to phone ups and internet ups. The phone and internet are the new showroom. Now, there are dealerships that do not give sometimes internet ups and or phone ups to regular salespeople. I get that. So if that's the case, then you've got to turn around and, just put a 0 right here. But if it's not the case, get as many as you can. This is the holy grail. A lot of our clients, we have point guards. I mean, you are absolutely crazy. I borderline insane not to turn around and be a dealer synergy client and be on the point guard team, because you have an untapped resource to where the keys of the kingdom are. Forget about the diamond, I'm sorry, forget about the golden eggs. It's the diamond platinum crusted eggs is what I was going to say, LA. You feel me?
Right.
The internet and phone ups. In my opinion, if you should have a minimum of about at least, I'd say 4 to 5 phone ups sales and at least 4 to 5, internet sales. So let's just do this. Instead of it saying 4 to 5, I'm going to go 3 and 3. Okay, so let's recap so far. So we've got 5 spots, right? We've got 5 BBacks. We've got 3 internet deals, and we got 3 phone ups. Okay, to me, that is really, really light. Okay, but let's go through that number right here. That is 14. And guess what? Those are only the first 4 ways for us to turn around and sell a car. Walk-in
16, right?
ups, BBacks. Yeah, you know what? This is what I try to do with my fingers and my toes. 16. All right. This is a podcast, man. There's no visuals here. I don't got any notes going or what have you. So again, that's 16. So again, but that's only 4 areas. Isn't that crazy, LA?
Yeah.
Walk-in ups, BBacks, internet, and phone. That's 16 right there.
Yep.
So now what am I going to do? Next, it would be prior customers and orphan owners. Now here, I do recognize that some of you might be brand new to the dealership. So if you're brand new to the dealership, you might not have the opportunity to have prior customers, but you could definitely have orphan owners. To me, this isn't 2 categories. It's prior customers and orphan owners to me are the same, because even an orphan owner is a prior customer of that dealership, even if it's not your personal customer. So I still say, I want to say 3. I should say here, you should be working the hell out of all of your prior customers and orphan owners. So if you're new, I say you should still be able to get 3 prior customers in a month.
Yeah,
Maybe not the first month.
It's just
that
a
you
matter
do
of
this.
making phone calls, man. A lot of people don't want to
Exactly.
make phone calls. Just make them.
Exactly.
Precious.
Now, but here's what I'm going to say to you. That's if you're new. But then this number goes up dramatically, because if you've been at the dealership for 3, 5, 10, 20, or God knows however many years there, then this might be 6 or 7. But we're going to just leave 3 for right now, right? So that's prior customers, orphan owners. Now, service conversions. Whether you're just working the service drive or you're working, whether you're working the service drive or data mining, equity mining, and lease retention, things like that, that's all categories here. To me, I would turn around and say that you should really be working to get probably about 4. I would say 4 out of here. And here's what I'm getting with this, LA, because think about it. If you work the service drive, right? LA, you have all those notes in there of what people's equity is, what their kind of cars are, all this field intelligence. And if you work your data mining tool, your equity mining tool the right way, I'm thinking 4 cars. And now this isn't the service drive, but it is data mining, equity mining.
Right.
If you think of lease retention people and you work if you work the lease retention list, if you have access to that, that's 4 more cars there. Now, here's what's going to get interesting now. What about referrals? Again, creating bird dogs. There's a guy named Bill Have. We haven't talked about Bill Have in a long time, but he worked at this used car independent dealership in Pennsylvania, and he gave away over $100,000 one year in bird dogs. Do the math. LA, they're $200 bird dogs. So for him to give away $100,000 out of $200 checks, think about how many freaking referrals he got. So to me, I would say again, you should probably be about 3 on this side, LA.
That's light, but I got you. Let's go with that.
Okay. What do you think? Okay, so wait a minute. You would say what, 5?
Let's go with 4. Let's go with the middle number. 4.
I would say 4, 1 a week. Okay,
Mhm.
4, 1 a week. And then the last one I'm going to say is prospecting. See, there's a guy named Frank Trinity. I was joking around before, right? that sells over 100 cars a month from a Honda dealership in Pennsylvania, like legitimately, but 30 cars a month comes off of his personal Facebook page. 30 cars a month. Now, do I think that's normal for everybody out there? No, because to be honest with you, you don't sell 100 cars a month on average. To expect 30 cars? No, but I definitely think, especially if you are willing to spend money on paid Facebook ads, on paid Instagram ads, hey, even paid TikTok ads, maybe YouTube pre-roll. If you're going to put a budget to it, if you're going to start having flyers out there, if you start doing email blasts, if you start, maybe get a billboard, it depends. You might be able to generate prospects. I'd say at least 4 to 5. What do you think, LA?
Yeah, 100%. Let's go to another 4.
4 for what?
For prospecting.
That was it. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that right there. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 15 cars right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus the 16 total is 31 cars.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yep.
So I'm not done, but this is what's going to happen. You see how, folks, that I reverse engineer this. I said walk-in spots 5, BBacks 5, internet ups 3, phone ups 3, and that's light, right? Then I'm saying that's a total of 16 right there. But then I'm saying prior customers, orphan owners 3. Then we talked about the service drive and data mining, equity mining 4. Then we talked about referrals 4. We talked about prospecting 4. And so that gave us a total of 15 for a grand total of 31.
Mm-hmm.
But now remember, we're 3 cars short. I'm sorry, we're 3 cars short of our 34 goal for the month. Do you follow me, LA?
Yep.
So now I've got to either say, wait a minute here. Damn, I need to readjust my goals and not hit. Already, do you see this? And this is not the answer, obviously. In December 22nd, right? Or 23rd, I should say, before the month of January even starts, I'm gonna give up on the whole year. Do you see how that, LA?
Yeah.
That's what people do.
Yep.
Is they'll turn around and say, well, man, how all that? I'm only gonna be able to get 31 cars. If I get 31 cars, then that's not enough. Even if I do 31 every year, I won't hit my goal of 400. So then what you need to do is say, okay, don't settle for mediocrity. Don't set yourself for failure. Don't turn around and create a false hope or something. Go back and say, okay, where can I get my cars from? You know where I can? Right here. I'm going to say at the bare minimum, it should be 4 for internet and it should be 4 for phone ups. But that now will bring me to 2 more, which is 33. So I've got 1 more. So the 3 was
I think you should find your strengths. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if even, let's say for God, you had a horrible month in January, you only sold 31 cars. Well, what did you find the most appealing? What did you find what was your favorite thing to do? That way you can go out and kill it on that way. You can still do the other stuff, right? Because you got to do the stuff you hate, but you got to do the stuff you love, man. And I'm telling you, month of February, so what? It's a shorter month. You better go out and do another 34, 35 cars, 36, 37 cars.
Yes. So that's it, LA. So I'm giving you the Sean Bradley example here. At the end of the day, everybody that's listening to this, you have different strengths and weaknesses in the dealership. Whether some of you might really gravitate towards the service lane, the service drive, especially if you were a former service writer before, or you have family and friends in service. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Or some of you might gravitate on the phone because you like phone ups and talking on the phone. Some of you might gravitate towards internet. Some of you might beast out orphan owners or prior customers. Some of you might kill BBacks. Yep. And some people might be great at just upping people. So again, my point being here is that this was just an example. What you've got to do is take that number, the 34, and just reverse engineer and ask yourself, where am I going to get my cars from? How many do you think I can really get? What's my max number from walk-in spots? What's my max number in a month from, BBacks? What's my max number for internet ups and phone ups? What's the most can I do from service department or data mining, equity mining? What's the most I could do from prior customers and orphan owners if I really dig in deep? What's the most that I can do from referral generation and prospecting and, those type of things? Does this make sense, LA, to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thought process. Again, people try to think of the least they can do, but you got to think about what's the most you can do. You got to push yourself. That's all I know.
Absolutely. And so once you get this number down for you, because here's the reality. Let's just say that we're all trying to break 400 cars next year, right? In 2021. If we all want to shoot for 400 and land on 360, right? And then that's going to get me to be able to average at least, 30 units a month bare minimum. Okay, if I could do that, right? Wow, I'm making 120, 140, $150,000 minimum. So now what I got to do is, what's my plan for each one of these categories? You need to make yourself a daily, weekly, monthly plan on how you're going to get your X amount of walk-in spots. You need to come up with a plan daily, weekly, monthly. What's your plan to be able to reverse engineer yourself into those BBacks? What's your daily, weekly, monthly plan to be able to get those amount of phone ups to come in and buy from you? What's your daily, weekly, and monthly plan to get those internet purchase requests to come in and buy a car? Okay, again, daily, weekly, and monthly. What's your plan to be able to handle the orphan owner projection, the prior customers, projection and forecasting for daily, weekly, and monthly? You need to understand, where are you going to get your service conversions from on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? How many of those are going to be from just walking into the service drive and starting conversation versus how many are going to be working your data mining, equity mining tool at the dealership? Again, where are you going to get your referrals from? What is going to be your referral process, whether it's through email, phone call, text message, software, social media, and whether it's one-on-ones or the people you sold to, or creating, like I was mentioning before, like a network of agents and agencies for referrals. And then the last art of prospecting. What are you going to do to build your own business within the dealership's business? Again, like T got your keys, K got you covered, D-Rob got your key fob, your core guy Corey, whatever. All of these people have build a brand platforms. They're a complete website platform with full integration to inventory, referral program, digital business card, video text messaging, video emailing software, and so much more. They're spending money on Facebook ads, on Instagram ads, on other social ads. They're buying pre-roll. They're buying different things to be able to drive traffic to their personal website, not the dealership's website, the personal website.
Yeah.
And I think that Kalina might be getting a billboard in the future. You know what I mean? After she breaks 20 cars, she might go into maybe getting a billboard and some crazy stuff out there, LA. But the point is, you need to have a plan. You can't just say, I want to sell 300 plus cars next year, or I want to sell 400 plus cars. You can't just say that. You've got to be able to back it up with exactly where are you going to get your cars from. There's 8 main ways. So before the month starts, before the year even starts, where are you going to get those cars from? And then once you figure that out, like we just did for all this time here, then you got to have a plan on how you're going to do it for each one of those 8 ways. And then you've got to work your plan on a daily, weekly, monthly level.
Right.
That's how, think about this, LA. You think a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar company, these executives just show up to work and they just start doing shit without having a plan or a business model? It's absurd.
That's what
so
they think,
if
though.
Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, you better get in like this double dutch if you're going to speak. He's like, choking. Say something, man. Damn it, get in here.
No, that's exactly what they think. I guess I can't even really define what they think, but here's the deal. Most salespeople aren't trackers. I mean, that's just the real deal of it. They just think, okay, it's all about action, action, action. But where's the plan, right? People say, right, you've heard the cliche before, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan, right? But then they also fail to track. Even if you go ahead and put the plan together, you got to track it, like he said, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Oh, no, but, when it's time to get off, I got to get home. I got to get dinner. Man, listen, track your stuff, man. Take the time out and put the work in, right? Put some stuff down on paper. I don't care if it's in the morning before you get started or in the evening when you get done. As a matter of fact, it should be both, but take just a few minutes. It's not going to take that much for you to track exactly what you did that day. Don't be trying to act like you sold like 40 cars in a day. You not sold 32 cars in a day like Ali Rader. Like, that's not what you did. So it's not going to take you that long to track exactly what you did. Just do it.
Listen to me. You need to also immerse yourself in your culture. You're an automotive sales professional. Why do you think we diversify all of our communication, our media, and our training? It's because of immersion. The United States Military Special Warfare Command, they have something called the Defense Language Institute.
Mm-hmm.
The Defense Language Institute is where the military learns foreign languages. For example, if you're an Army Green Beret, Special Forces, right? Every Special Forces soldier has to learn a second language. And you think that they have them do David Berlitz tapes or Rosetta Stone? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? No, it's combat situation that you might be, doing counterintelligence or God knows what other military stuff there. So they give you immersion training because they believe that's the best way for you to perfect your new culturally, linguistics. So you got to think of this. Money is a language. Like you've talked about love languages before
Mm-hmm.
and with your wife and stuff like that on the radio show, LA. Again, to me, money is a language. Success is a language. And you know what? You got to be fluent, not to stutter or be so stupid. You know what I mean? You've got to turn around and be fluent to the dialect of money, of success, of wealth, of prosperity. So the best way to learn the language of money, success, wealth, prosperity, being a 30 car, 40 car, 50 car, 100 car guy or girl is by immersing yourself in your culture of automotive internet sales, automotive BDC, automotive CRM, automotive showroom sales, automotive special finance, automotive. So there's resources like the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. Take advantage of the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. We have a full mentorship program in there, and we are pushing 18,000 members that are dealer principals, GMs, managers, and automotive pros. Some of the best and the brightest multimillionaires and millionaire car salesmen, car saleswomen are in this group. And then there's the podcast that you're listening to right now. But in addition to that, we have the Against All Odds radio show, broadcasting to over 1.2 million Americans. You follow me? On broadcast radio in Los Angeles, in Cleveland, in Rochester, and in Atlanta, and then worldwide on the iHeart app, streaming live, as well as the radio.com Entercom app as well. So these are free resources. Then we have starting to get paid, whether it's my event or other events, there's training conferences. So I don't know what 2021 is going to look like. We did not do an Internet Sales 20 Group conference, the first time in 13 years that Dealer Synergy did not throw a national event. Folks, I've had thousands and thousands of automotive professionals over the years attend my conferences. And again, they're pretty big. For 13 straight years, we've been doing this. So we hope that in 2021, we're going to have our national conference, probably, second, not the second, but maybe like the third or fourth quarter of 2021. But then we have virtual training. You should be training on demand, a video on demand training, tracking, testing, certification program. Again, Bradley On Demand is the #1 automotive resource for training. We have some of the top dealer groups in the country, multi-billion-dollar dealer groups, and we have a total of 1,400 unique rooftops are on our www.bradleyondemand training. And then obviously, whether you're training with the coach, a trainer, etc., my point being is you need to train, practice, drill, and rehearse. Look at the Navy SEALs, Marine Force Recon, Army Rangers, Delta Force. I mean, look at these special combat units. Look at Olympians. Look at multi-gold medalist Olympians. Do you think that they just became a multi-gold medalist Olympian by accident? Or they turn around and they dodged training? They paid somebody to do their OEM training? They half-assed listen to their CRM training? They ignore the outside consultant or the manufacturer's training? And they just do whatever they want to do whenever they want? That's how they accidentally became a multi-gold medalist in the Olympics? Hell no. They sacrificed. They practiced. They drilled. They rehearsed. They put their whole heart and soul into becoming that professional athlete. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what the difference is between second place in the Olympics and the first place? It might be a nanosecond.
A millisecond.
Think about that. A nanosecond is a difference between second and first place in the Olympics. So I just want you to go into 2021 with a plan and work that plan hard like you wanted it. You wanted it more than anything else in the world, just as much as you want to breathe. Like shout out to Eric Thomas,
Yep.
E.T.
To realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask the person who took the silver medal in the Olympics.
Word, my G, word. So LA, I feel like I'm talking up here. You tag,
No,
you're
listen,
in.
man. That's what it is. I mean, you're laying down the law, right, when it comes to being successful. And again, there's going to be hundreds of people that's going to listen to thousands of people that's going to listen to this, and there's going to be a small percentage who actually go and do what you say do. I don't understand why that's the case, but hey, listen, if Jesus only can get a certain couple of amount of people, and yes, that's the Jew saying that, right? But if he only going to get a certain amount of people, then how much less for the rest of us, right? So we just gotta put the message out there, tell people exactly what you should do if you want to win bad enough. And see, that's what I think the challenge is. Most people are. Do you realize that being comfortable that's like the number one thing for people, right? And to go out and do something different. See, being broke is comfortable. Right, because you're used to it. You know what that feels like. You know what it feels like to sell 10 cars. You know what it feels like to sell 15. But if I say something about selling 35, you're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how people's perception, your mind is bad, man. I don't know what to tell you, right? You got to get your mind right. So that's what our number one message is for today, Sean. I don't know if you got more, man, but I know we almost had a whole hour. I know we got people that listen to this traveling to and from work and all of that great stuff. I know we got the holiday break coming up, so folks going to be listening to this, driving around to their, if they're going to visit people and everything like that. But I'm telling you, like, folks need to get their mind right for 2021. You had a vision for 2020, right? Everybody had a vision for 2020, right? That was the whole thing. Oh, it's the year of the vision and everything. And then the pandemic came and like swiped that all out, right? So you had to recalibrate. So now, like I said, listen, the shock is over. It's time for you to go and win in 2021. So am I on it, Sean, or what's the deal?
Yo, for sure. All I can say is this, folks. You know my background. I lost 6 years of my life by the time I was 22, okay? I got into the car industry, and back in 2003, when I left the last dealership, Cherry Hill Nissan was the number one Nissan dealership in the Northeast region of the United States. I was making about $160,000 a year as a BDC director back 18 years ago. Do you hear me? And then I became a millionaire in my mid-20s. I became a multimillionaire in my 30s. And now I'm in my 40s, and I'm going after the $100 million mark, folks.
Let's go.
I'm a best-selling author, and I just landed a nationally syndicated radio show in Los Angeles, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Rochester, just to start with. Over 1 million listeners, LA. So if I could accomplish all that I have, of course, everybody listening to this can level up. You can do more, you can be more, and you could achieve more. You could make that money that you want, need, and deserve, but you gotta want to do it. And you can't just say you want to do it. You need to be about it. You need to be about that life.
Yep.
You need to go all in and become fluent in the language of success, in prosperity, in wealth, in automotive sales professionalism.
Yep.
Yo, I'm out.
Ladies and gentlemen, success leaves clues. Sean has just dropped a whole bunch of clues, a whole bunch of crumbs, a whole bunch of nuggets. Man, gather them up and go make yourself a meal, man. This is the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace. So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Jason Caleri and Karen Bradley. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is sponsored in part by Scar Food, Bradley On Demand, and Dealer Synergy. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.